Hello, this is Manesh Patel from Ichimoku This is August 19, 2012. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the futures markets, where we cover everything from crude oil, natural gas, gasoline, commodity futures, sugar, bonds, and so forth. This is our normal disclaimer to state this is for education use only. If you decide to take any trades, you're doing that at your own risk. All charts today you're going to see are basically from Thinkorswim, from TD Ameritrade, and the music is going to be from Guitaro. Here are my contact details here. You can visit us at ichimokutrade.com, access any of our free videos over there, along with our email alerts, heat map, and so forth. Or if you have any questions, you can email us at info@eiicapital.com. Okay, so let's begin. Let's go to our heat map, and let's pull this up. Okay, and over here, this is basically our heat map. Remember, what we're looking for is both the daily and weeklies to be the same color, and basically this the daily being a 2 and a 4, which is basically a trend signal here, and the weekly being a 2, 4, and 5. Okay, so soybean oil looks like an opportunity right now, so we'll definitely look at that one. Scrolling down, Dow Jones was basically a multiple time frame buy a couple of weeks ago, and the 5s and 5s are basically telling us it's already trending. So is the E-mini S&P 500, and also 5-year Treasury notes are already trending. So we're scrolling down. Nasdaq's already trending. This is opposite, so there's counter trend going on in crude oil right now. So there's nothing real opportunity there. Gasoline's already been trending. Soybeans already been trending. And if you come down here, S&P 500, we saw that already trending. And then Dow futures already trending. So really right now, soybean oil looks only like a only opportunity right now, but we definitely need to look at it because the lower time frames are all in conflict, as you can see. So we need to see exactly what the daily and weekly looks like right now and moving forward. So let's go through and start looking at everything. Remember, on the left hand side is going to be your daily time frame. On the right hand side is going to be your weekly time frame. So let's start going for all the futures right now. And let's start off here at cocoa futures. And if you look at cocoa futures, really bullish trending here on the daily time frame, kind of getting to a point where it's kind of consolidating here, top heavy here, and you could see why, because we're basically in the cloud on the weekly time frame, so nothing really going on right now. And if you really draw a line here, we kind of hit a major resistance on the weekly time frame, which is around 24.72, which is having a hard time trying to get past. Major support on this one's going to be 23.30 moving forward. Light sweet crude oil, if you look here on crude oil, here we basically have hit a minor resistance level right now at 26.46 right now. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens this week. There's a lot of conflict here in the weekly time frame. I understand we've gone up drastically, but this is in need of a pullback right now, and there's a possibility this week that crude oil can sit there and actually tank. First support level is going to get to is about 23. I would say it's about 94, but the major support level on this one, which it kind of needs to get to, which will be 87 moving forward before it can sit there and start a long trend up, all to start going back to 110. And if you look here on the daily time frame, you're kind of on the verge of a trend, kind of broken out of the cloud, and you're starting to move forward. So this thing's kind of at a point where it's got to make a decision this week what it wants to do. And by the end of this week, we're really going to be able to see if this thing has a possibility of starting a trend or not. Just because it's done an upward movement really doesn't mean anything, because it has been going down for a long time. Cotton, this is still bearish trending on the weekly time frame. It is going for a medium pullback right now, where resistance will basically be around 80.25. And if you look at the daily time frame, this thing just looks very, very ugly right now, to a point it's consolidating on the daily time frame. So really nothing going on there. US dollar index, the daily looks like it's really one big mess, and you could see here from the weekly we're kind of getting top heavy here, and we're kind of just sitting there doing really nothing right now. Minor resistance level that it's got to break is 82.90, and support basically is going to be right around 81 on this one. We'll come back to gold in a minute. Feeder cattle, Really nothing going on right now. This is bearish trending here, now finally going for a major pullback. This one here is now in the cloud. It did start a bearish trend here, but needed a pullback. The pullback level we're kind of looking for on this one is about 148 or so. Sorry, 147.23. If it could pull back to that level, that'd be perfect, and then make its journey back down to 135. If it could sit there and break about 130, 132, 130, this thing can start a trend to the downside, which would be really, really nasty, kind of going all the way down. Lean hogs, you could see here, very crazy future here. As you could see, the big gaps here and the big movements here. This is bearish trending here to the downside. You could see, I don't know if you would call it trending with the gaps and scenarios here, but that's definitely one you definitely stay away from. Make sure you stick to options and so forth on these. Copper here, really doing nothing at all. Major support is going to be basically at 29.55. Major resistance is going to be basically 59.98. Until then, this thing's just going sideways. No idea why people are talking about it either, because there's no opportunity there at all. Heating oils we talked about is basically bullish, trending on both the daily and weekly right now. This is still going. However, it has hit a major resistance level up here. So we have hit a resistance level, which is basically 3.12. So we kind of bounced off that little. However, that's not really a bounce. You could count it. It's got to break a minor resistance level of 305. Sorry, minor support level of 3.05, and then it's got to come down to about 295, and at that point it'll be a true test for gasoline to see if it really wants to start a trend on a long-term basis. So we're kind of expecting a pullback to about $2.95 on heating oil in the near future. Coffee here you can see is basically bearish trending on the weekly time frame. Sentiments changed again here on the daily time frame, and it's coming up to a minor support level, which is basically coming up, and it's going to be right around about 160. If it could break that, then it's got a possibility of coming to retest the lows here, but definitely needs a little pullback right now. Ideally, if this thing could pull back to about 170 and then make its journey down to about and break the 160 level, then this thing does have a possibility going to 150 and even possibly going lower than that one. So keep an eye on coffee for sure. Lumber here, bullish trending on both the daily and weekly. No one's probably watching this one, but look at this one. This thing has a potential of skyrocketing up, and it can have the potential of coming all the way up here into the 320s, 330s, and 340 levels, which is trying to journey up to. If you're looking for a pullback level to maybe trying to get in, 300 would be a very good pullback level for this one, because that's a major support. It's got to hold there. If it doesn't hold there, 291 is the next major support for this thing moving forward. Okay, live cattle here. Really nothing going on here, because the weekly is just sitting there chopping up and down. So we're not even going to talk about this one, and I hate the gap scenario too. Natural gas, a lot of people looking at this one. This was bearish trending here. It went for a major pullback right now, and believe it or not, it's trying to resume its trend. Key support level is going to be 2.59, and see exactly what happens at that level. If it breaks it and closes that there below that level on a weekly basis, then we have a potential of retesting the lows, which are coming all the way back down here. But we got to wait and see exactly what happens for this thing to move forward. Excuse me. Major resistance level is going to be 2.981 moving forward on this one. Frozen concentrated orange juice, really bearish trending here on the weekly time frame, and you can look at the daily. It's just sitting there consolidating right now. Nothing really going on, and that's due to this action here. The more this consolidates, the more the bears are losing with time. Palladium, really nothing going on right now. You can see it bounced off its major support level of 554, and it looks like its major resistance level is going to be 649.85 moving forward, but nothing really going on that one. We already got forgot platinum. Platinum, a lot of people would talk about last week. Yes, because it had a huge movement up, came up here. However, I don't think that's going to be sustaining at all. It's got to pull back to about 1436.20. Once it does that, then it has a possibility going up, as much as about 15.58, and at that point it's going to be a true test for this thing. But this thing is just been consolidating for the longest time, and the range is basically right around here to here, and the middle of the range roughly is basically right there around 1540. So nothing really going. If you're a swing trader and want to go into those ranges, you can. It's a big enough range to sit there and trade it there. Gasoline, same thing as heating oil. Bullish trending on basically the daily time frame. It's hitting the major resistance level, which is right around here at 3.096. It's got to basically go down to about $2.93. At that point, it's going to be a true test for this thing to see exactly what happens. If it holds there, then basically it's going to be very strong going forward, and it has a possibility of starting a major bullish trend where it can go up to get back to $3.40. If it breaks down there, it's got to hold $2.77 in order to basically have that bullish sentiment intact. If it sits there and breaks through that, then it does have a possibility of going back and retesting this pivot low here at 2.467, which is a major support for gasoline moving forward. Sugar, really nothing going on right now. Daily starting to basically pop out here. However, major support is going to be basically 19.75 on this one. Major resistance on this one is going to be roughly around 22.06. But definitely keep an eye on this one, because if it sit there and break down further, then you have a possibility of it going lower. Gold, a lot of people are looking at this one. I don't know why. Still ranging. Here's the short-term range right there, which is 1629. If it breaks the 1629, this thing has a possibility to go to 1660, which is its major resistance, believe it or not, on that one. Support on this one's going to be basically all the way down to 1591, which is a major support for this one. And here's another one a lot of people are talking about this week. I have no idea why. Silver, really doing nothing except consolidating at all. Major support on this one's going to be 27.23. Major resistance on this one's going to be 31.82 moving forward. Corn, you could see here is bullish trending in both the daily and weekly. Definitely in dire needs of a pullback right now. It definitely needs a pullback. That's about all you could say. Pullback levels, they're unknown, believe it or not, in here because of all this mess here. The best pullback, believe it or not, will be back basically to 7009. And believe it or not, that's a major pullback, but that definitely is needed moving forward. 30-year Treasury notes here, but looks like a bearish trend here. However, major support is going to be 144.08 moving forward on this one, so we got to see exactly what happens. Major resistance is 149.07. 5-year Treasury notes here. This is basically between support resistances too here. It looks like a bearish trend here. Resistance is going to be 124.115. Support's basically going to be 123.067. Soybean oil, this is one we want to look at. This has a possibility of breaking out. Here, you could see here, remember here, this is basically bullish trending, a bullish setup right now, and this is bullish setup right now. However, again, this one still has to break its resistance level here and this level here. So this is setting up, but not quite there yet, but it is setting up right now, so it does have a possibility of breaking out. Resistance levels are 54.48 and 56 moving forward. If it goes below, if it goes below 51.88, basically the bullish trend or bullish trend possibility is pretty much all destroyed. Soybean meal, basically bullish trending on both the daily and weekly. Daily's now starting to get top heavy here to a point it's consolidating, which is not good. It's got to make another move out. 10-year Treasury notes, support's basically going to be 131.192. Resistance is going to be 133.262. Oats here, basically come out here. Really nothing going on in oats. This is just consolidating, believe it or not, with a huge wide range. Not even worth our time talking about it. Soybeans, this is basically bullish trending here on the weekly time frame, kind of getting top heavy here to a point. It could sit there and have a potential going down, but this has been consolidating too long now to a point it's taking the momentum out of the bulls. 2-year Treasury note, really nothing going on. Major support it's getting ready to get to is 110.035. And lastly, wheat. Really nothing going on here. Had a major pop here. Looked like it broke this resistance here at 298.92, but really didn't break it. Went straight up, then came straight down. So it's really nothing's really gone on this one. Support on this one's going to be 821, and then the major support's going to be 869 moving forward on this one. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us here at info@eiicapital.com, or you can visit our website, ichimokutrade.com. Look forward to speaking to you next week. Thank you.